Hello friends, it is day 15. Today we're looking at Luke 6, 1 through 11. If you have not yet read this passage, pause the video and come back when you have. Texts about Sabbath are always interesting because in a faith tradition that keeps Sabbath in some form, like the Seventh-day Adventist tradition, there's always a lot of history around what keeping Sabbath actually means. Coming from one of those faith traditions, I used to read these passages and think, oh yeah, we're the ones doing it right. But as I've gotten older, more and more I see it as the opposite. We're much more like the Pharisees than Jesus and his disciples in these stories. Growing up, I can name 10 things without even thinking that were wrong to do on the Sabbath. And there were always these disparate reasons of why they were wrong. And none of them are worth repeating because as a kid, I didn't care. It just meant that I couldn't do fun stuff. And as an adult, as I've thought about what those reasons were, I realized the adults that told me them, they didn't know why it was wrong to do on Sabbath either. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given such lame reasons. That sounds a lot more like the Pharisees than Jesus. What am I so legalistic about that I miss the miracle? What am I so secure in my rightness about that I can't see it any other way? They were so set on following all these rules, these things that they thought God wanted, that they missed the whole purpose of the Sabbath, walking right among them. What do you do when it comes to God that you just have to put your head down and get through it? You've done it so much that it's just become habit at this point, but you just have to put your head down and just get through it. I release you from that. If it's watching these videos, stop watching these videos. If it's showing up to worship on Sabbath, stop showing up to worship on Sabbath. If it's reading your Bible, stop reading your Bible. None of those things are bad things. In fact, all of them are good things. But if a good thing with Jesus doesn't give you life, stop doing it. Jesus wants to give you life, and there are infinite ways to experience that life. Seriously, infinite. The Bible will always be there for you to read. Church in some form will always be there for you to participate in. But stop killing yourself with things that just aren't working anymore. Try something new. Jesus says that he wants to give you abundant life. And 1 John says that God is love. So what is it that makes you feel alive? What is it that makes you feel love? That's God. That is God communing with you. Maybe you're relying on something that was so profound and miraculous at one point in your life and it's just not working for you anymore. But that was how you felt God in the beginning. You were so on fire for God because of that thing. But you're not in that season of life anymore. And maybe for this new season, there's a new thing that can connect you to God. The traditional ways of connecting with God, formalized prayer, Bible study, listening to sermons, they're always going to be there. That's why they're traditional. But the point of the curtain tearing in the temple when Jesus died was that the presence of God spilled out into all of the world. It might be time to put away for a while modes of connecting with God that aren't working for you. Just for a while. You can come back to them later. But if you wanted to reconnect with a friend, you wouldn't scroll through their Facebook and Instagram. You wouldn't call their family to see what they've been up to. And you definitely wouldn't read a book about them from their life to the point that they met you. Those things might tell you about the person, but they're not going to help you reconnect. No, you would call this person and you would talk. Find what gives you life. Find what makes you feel alive. Find what makes you feel love. And in those moments, become more aware and inviting of the God who was present in those things all along. May God bless you and keep you. May the face of Jesus shine upon you and be gracious to you. And may the fullness of the Spirit dwell within you and give you peace.